Right. Hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel once again, and this is a new type of video format. I'm trying something a little bit different for the channel. This is going to be the first of what I hope to be quite a few reaction videos. Now, I've intentionally steered clear of reaction videos for quite some time now because I feel like reaction videos are kind of a ticking time bomb for a copyright strike or anything like that, or being non-transformative or anything like that, uh, for for YouTube, especially with its copyright system. So I've intentionally, for quite a while, well now, steered clear of it. But you know what? I figured, might as well. I'll try it, at least for this video. If things go well on this video, then great. If not, then and we'll know. But today, what I want to react to is an interesting video I found. This is by Turbo Wrestling with two O's, so go give them a subscribe and a like because this is the AEW and WWE Forbidden Door 2025 Dream Match card that they put together. Now, I've talked about it before on the channel. I did a video some time ago talking about my thoughts on if AEW and WWE ever did like a Forbidden Door type show, like a crossover type show, so akin to what AEW does with New Japan, and as well as like CMLL, Stardom, stuff like that, and as some of those talent get on involved with the show as well. But this person put together their own dream match card. I think I also put together some matches, or I did in like the dream matches. So we're gonna see. Well, actually, you're gonna see. I actually have seen this video before, which is partially why I want to show you guys this because I think Turbo Wrestling here did a Turbo Wrestling. My apologies. I think they did a tremendous job with this card and putting this card together, and I have a lot of thoughts when it comes to the matches on the card, how I think they would go. I don't think I'm going to predict winners, excuse me, for this, only because knowing kind of how crossover shows go, it could theoretically go either way. But yeah, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go match by match here as they have it laid out in the video. And then I'm going to pause and on occasion and give my thoughts on each match. So once again, shout out to Turbo Wrestling, and without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so right off the bat, having it take place at Madison Square Garden, a very famous venue for WWE and their shows, I think, very cool idea, very smart idea. And of course, just showing some footage from the inaugural Forbidden Door back in 2022, showing some wrestlers there, and so right off the bat, I also like this part, like the lead up into this, showing like the wrestlers from WWE and AEW, who I think is very well done so far. As we get into the actual card, so All Elite Wrestling WWE percent which pop up. AEW and WWE Forbidden Door, and that is a cool way that you Turbo Wrestling, that's a cool way that you kind of Photoshop WWE into there. But also, it wasn't until somebody, I think on either Reddit or Twitter, pointed out that eye, like in the background, first of all, I had no idea what that was, but now it is an eye, and apparently it is supposed to be the eye of Kenny Omega. Nice, neat little bit of trivia there in case you were curious. And it makes sense with Kenny Omega being part of AEW and New Japan, but now, enough rambling, let's get into the actual card proper. So, we have the 0 hour matches first. So first up, we have Mina Shirakawa versus Roxanne Perez. Now, obviously, I'm a lot more familiar with Roxanne Perez than I am with Mina Shirakawa. She just recently started getting really featured on AEW TV within like the past couple of years. But the stuff I've seen of her and the stuff I've seen of Roxanne, I think this does have the makings of a very fun and interesting match. Like this would be a good back and forth between the two, especially with Roxanne Perez training more in like the Japanese wrestling style. Before her match with like Julia, I remember that story came out. I believe last year, or well, whenever Julia was on her way into WWE, that she was training more in that style to prepare for Julia. So hopefully it would allow for a solid enough match when it comes to that. Putting him on the 0 hour is I get that somebody's got to go on there. But I also gotta say I do love the transitions between each match. The transitions are really cool. Now, next up, Daniel Garcia versus Ludwig Kaiser for the TNT Championship. Shout out to Danny Boy, fellow Buffalo kid. This would be very fun. Like this would be a good, like very fun, very good technical masterpiece. It's like the technical wizardry would fully be on display there. Both men definitely known for their technical prowess, so I think this would be a really good, fun technical match. And it's also worth mentioning that it's broken up by nights, so they broken up into night one and night two here, which I think does fit with like WWE's MO, and it really, in a way, does show the best of both worlds for both AEW and WWE. And next up, we have a four-way tag team match: Viking Raiders, House of Black, Street Profits, and Private Party. Now, right off the bat, yes, Malachi Black is there. Now, by this time, he is Aleister Black, but this was uploaded 6 months ago, so things might be a bit outdated there, as you can also see with Private Party being the AEW World Tag Team Champion. And shame their reign didn't last that long. But I think this would be a good primer. And it's very smart how this card is laid out. Having good primer matches on the 0 hour to kind of satiate the appetite. I would especially like to see the interactions that like the Viking Raiders, more specifically Ivar, but also Eric. I want to see what interactions they would have with like Brody King, having his power. Now, if you still want to do like a Forbidden Door, obviously you'd swap out now Malachi Black with Buddy Matthews, but so this would be just a fun, interesting match on the 0 hour as we're almost in the show proper. And then now we move into the show proper. Starting off with Bryan Danielson versus Gunther. Ooh, baby, this would be fun. Like, hey, this would be a very. It would be similar to. I don't know if you remember. For those of you who have watched my Dream Matches video, if you haven't, I definitely recommend it. This would be similar to like when I said Bryan Danielson versus Ilya Dragunov. Like, this would be a fun technical match, but this would also be very hard hitting and very intense. Like I literally would love to see these two light each other up. And thankfully, Bryan Danielson, and very much technical wizard, but also busts out the high flying, and the fact that Gunther busted out as well means this match can go in a number of very fun and interesting directions. And it does suck that Gunther. By the time Gunther was called up, Bryan Danielson was already in WWE, so we didn't get this match in WWE. But so this would be fun, and as you can see, the World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. Or Turbo would put the World Heavyweight Championship on the line here. But next up is his Swerve Strickland versus Drew McIntyre. Now, this would be interesting. This would be. I want to call it David vs. Goliath because Swerve does have a surprising amount of height on him, but Of course, Drew McIntyre is very big and very strong, but I think Drew McIntyre has had a history of having really good matches with like smaller, more agile opponents. Not to say Swerve is small because he's definitely not. Like I said, he's got decent amount of height on him, but I think this would be pretty fun, especially with Drew McIntyre being agile in his own right. I think it would add some extra dimensions to this match. Having Swerve brush off the Claymore kick like he did the Busaiku knee at All In when he fought Bryan Danielson would be goosebumps for sure, and the crowd, I can literally hear the crowd pop if that were to happen. But yeah, this would definitely be fun. But next up we is it gonna go to, yes. So Chris Statlander versus Tiffany Stratton. Now, admittedly, this one I'm going to swap out an opponent for later on, but I will also comment on this match and then that match when I get to it. But as for this match, I think this match would be okay. This match would be solid enough. Again, kind of similar to the kind of David vs. Goliath aspect I was talking about with Drew and Swerve, except, especially more so with Tiffany being more agile, although Chris is also agile in her own right, but Chris also bringing a lot of the power, so it would be an interesting dynamic for this match, and the WWE Women's Championship would be on the line, as you can see here. And also, I know my camera's kind of blocking it, but the sponsors here are Prime and DraftKings, so best of both worlds when it comes to sponsors, because of course Prime's not here. Although, if I remember correctly, I don't think Logan Paul is in this booking, which is interesting. But next up, we have trios action. It can't be AEW without a trios match. Rated FTR versus DIY KO. Now, like I said, this video is a little bit outdated by this point. Rated FTR no more. Of course, FTR turned on Adam Copeland at Dynasty. But this still, I think this would be an interesting match. To my knowledge, Kevin Owens and Edge have never faced, but it would also be interesting to see them play up the history between DIY and FTR, formerly the Revival. And I think it would be a fun match. But if you're going to do this match, you have to have the callback to when Ciampa and Gargano had Dax and Cash, aka Scott and Dash, when they were in NXT, in the submission, and they like held on to each other to prevent from tapping out. You gotta do that callback. Otherwise, it's a wasted opportunity. But yeah, I think this match would be pretty interesting. But next up we have winner takes all. So I imagine the International Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. This is back when Braun was still Intercontinental Champion. Konosuke Takeshita versus Braun Breaker. This match would be nuts. But this would definitely be a hard-hitting affair, but also considering how agile both men are, this would also be fun in that regard, especially seeing Braun on with his like crazy amount of athleticism, which Takeshita also possesses, is the word I was looking for. This would be a very fun encounter, a very hard-hitting encounter. I would want to see these two beat the snot out of each other, but I would also love to see Takeshita reverse the spear into the power wash knee. That would definitely be very, very fun to see. But this definitely would be interesting. But next up, we have, and it's also ironic that it says winner takes all when that's the stipulation for Okada and Omega at All In. But now this match for the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Jamie Hayter. Now this is the match I would swap out the opponents. So now this match I think would be interesting as well. Oh, this would be good. Not quite Dave vs. Goliath, but definitely fun, hard hitting in one. But this one I would swap out. So I would actually have Jamie Hayter take on Tiffany Stratton, and I would have Rhea Ripley take on Chris Statlander, or especially because Ripley and Statlander have very similar styles where they're both very big women who are very powerful, who both have incredible height on them. So I think that match will work out more. But this match would also be fun. And here's to hoping Jamie Hayter comes back to TV soon. And Jamie Hayter and Tiffany would also be very fun as well. Oh, but yeah, so I would swap between these two. But I also do like I also don't mind these two being put together in this video, and you can tell how Turbo in this video was going more for like big versus little matches, which having which it makes sense having the different styles those go against each other. Think sometimes it can be a little tricky, but other times it definitely works and opposites attract. But sometimes having similar styles you can get away with as well. And I think having Rhea versus Chris and then Jamie versus Tiffany would be a case of that. But I also don't mind this match here. Yeah, and very much a dream match, Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins. I wonder if Will Ospreay still hopes that Seth tweeted at him flexing his bank account back in 2019. But as for this match would be very fun. Unfortunately, and this is something I've noticed for a while with Seth Rollins, and hence ever since his knee injury back in 2015, he doesn't quite fly around like he used to. He still does. He still very much does take to the air. He still does the topes and stuff like that, but otherwise he doesn't quite fly around as much. He was doing that a lot more often back in like say the Shield days. But then when he really messed up his knee in 2015 at the house show, where he tore his MCL, ACL, and meniscus and was forced to relinquish the WWE Championship, he hasn't quite been as agile as he used to be. He is still very much so, and this is why they were paired together, but I feel like a lot of that was taken away. And it makes sense. Like, the injuries, that's hard to come back from. But as for this match would be very fun, and seeing the crazy stuff these two would get up to, would be pretty epic, and this would be very much just a fun back and forth. I can absolutely see these two having a very, very fantastic back and forth. Yep. And this is actually the main event of night one that they put here. Of course, you pretty much gotta have this match. People have been asking for this match for a while. Like, whenever people do talk about, like, oh, what if AEW and WWE did like a Forbidden Door, like a crossover type match, this is often a match that comes up. Jon Moxley versus Roman Reigns for the AEW World Championship in Tribal Combat. Now, the great thing about this match, compared to every other match, unlike every other match we've had on this show, or in this booking video, the history and like the build for this match very much writes itself. A lot of history between these two men going back to the Shield and everything. They fought multiple times before. They fought for the WWE Championship back in Survivor Series 2015. They teamed together, stuff like that. And to see how far they've come in their careers since Jon Moxley left for AEW, who I think seeing how they're careers have diverged, with Moxley becoming the more ruthless, bloodthirsty, badass that he always wanted to be, that WWE didn't want to present him as, versus Roman, who has at this point turned heel, become Tribal Chief, turned face again, became OTC. Seeing them at this point in their career, it would be interesting. That being said, this would not be a short match. Like, this match would very much go on for an absurdly long time. These two, Jon Moxley, Roman Reigns, have very long matches nowadays, and a lot of it is filled with shtick, like walking around the ring, taunting and stuff like that. There would be quite a bit of that in this match. Thankfully, this match, thankfully, it's smart of Turbo to make this match tribal combat, so that the match wouldn't go into full boredom. It would be like a weapons match. It wouldn't be just a regular match. I think if it was just a regular match, it would probably be, it could run the risk of being boring. Now, there have been plenty of matches involving these two that were regular that weren't boring, but with how long this match would be, it very well could drag. But I think having this be tribal combat, and you can get the Bloodline involved, you can get Death Riders involved, you can have them clash, and then have things play out through here. Also, like, kind of the crown effect, the crowning effect you have for Jon Moxley's hair, or maybe that's just the graininess. Maybe Jon Moxley truly is bald in this photo, because Moxley is bald in real life now. But I also, I think is worth saying, and now, I'll admit, I'm not the biggest fan of, like, time limit draw finishes where things go up to a time limit, but I do think AEW has been very wise in their usage of, like, time limit draw decisions, especially if it either A, leaves the fans wanting more, or B, they resolve it and use it to tell a story, like what they did with MJF and Adam Cole at All In 2023. But I think this one, if it did go to a time limit draw, and you had like a sudden death or anything like that, I think the way you go about doing I think it could work for this match. That's because as this match being a bit indecisive, I think would it could either help or harm the match as a whole. But I think if done right, it very well could be an interesting way that you go about this match. But yeah, this match would be interesting, but my goodness, it would be long. It would definitely be like almost an hour, if not more. But yeah, so now that night one's wrapped up, now we move into night two, and very wise to put that as the main event for night one. Yep, so moving into night two. Well, first up, we have a United States Championship ladder match. LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, Andrade, the Pro Star Kyle Fletcher, and Orange Cassidy. Now, admittedly, with both Andrade and Ricochet, there is bring up their history in both WWE and AEW. Which I imagine is partially why they're there. But otherwise, not a bad field of competitors. Now, Shinsuke, obviously at this point, is not U.S. champion anymore. So if we swap in the current U.S. champion, which at the time of this recording is Solo Sikoa, who just won it from Jacob Fatu at Night of Champions, I think this would also be very interesting. It'd be interesting to see Orange Cassidy's interactions with the WWE stars. There's not quite as much Andrade, because I think they faced off before when Andrade was in AEW, but especially with like LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura, I think, or in this case Solo Sikoa. So I think that would be that'd be kind of interesting to see. And Kyle Fletcher, this would be very much showcase of him, and I would especially love to see how he interacts with the WWE guys within this match, especially now that he's really breaking out on his own. But that's next up we have have a tag team match: the Young Bucks versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Unlike I think unlike the rest of the matches on this card, this match has actually happened before. In fact, I think this happened on an AEW pay per view. Was it? I want to say it was an all-out event, but yeah, the Motor City Machine Guns actually did wrestle a match in AEW. They actually wrestled a few matches, because I think this was during the like AEW TNA relationship when this happened. But nevertheless, running it back here, I think I think this could be. I'd have to go back and watch the other matches, but I think this does have the potential of being fun, especially seeing the shtick of like EVP heel Young Bucks, which admittedly I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I do prefer the Young Bucks as heels, but it's mainly because they're just so like smarmy and arrogant and annoying about it. At least their characters are. But excuse me. But I think this would have the potential of being a very very interesting match. Excuse me. At least with the AEW and WWE banners for the respective sides here in the Forbidden Door booking. Next up, we have the TBS Championship on the line: Mercedes Moné versus Bayley. Tale as old as time. So I guess I technically lied. This match has also happened before, or in fact, this match has happened multiple times. Mercedes Moné, Bayley, very good friends in real life, always manage to make magic when they're in the ring against each other. Of course, harkening back to the matches in NXT, which they definitely could and should play up on in the build to this match. But this would be interesting, and admittedly, for a lot of people, Mercedes Moné's body of work in AEW has been kind of a mixed bag. I haven't minded it too much, with some exceptions, but I think if anyone could give a fantastic match to Mercedes Moné, especially for the TBS Championship, is very much Bayley. And now, excuse me. Now, next up, another dream match: Kazuchika Okada versus AJ Styles. Now, admittedly, because I didn't really watch New Japan, and I sadly don't really, I don't know if this match has happened before. But by saying dream match, I imagine it hasn't. But this match would be very interesting. And now AJ, despite what a lot of people may say, still able to put on a really good match. Okada, seeing him with his strikes and everything, and seeing him in his shtick, would be fun. Especially with AJ like flying off and kind of pinging off Okada within the match. I think would make for a very interesting encounter. This match, I'm surprised these two have never faced off, but maybe it was a ships in the night passing kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure, but this match would be. I'm sure this match would be very very fun. Especially, I mentioned like the flying ability of AJ, but he's also very much a technical master, so he could match Okada in that department as well. So this would definitely be a very fun encounter. But next up, we got MJF versus CM Punk. Very much a grudge match, aka the match we probably would have gotten if Jack Perry had said, maybe CM Punk's right. Maybe going into this glass window pane on the car isn't such a good idea after all. But running back their rivalry, perhaps one of the best rivalries in AEW history, according to a lot of people. CM Punk and MJF have both said they very much enjoyed their rivalry, so why not run it back one more time? As for what the grudge match could be, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it would be awesome to see these two face off again, and I definitely got to watch their original match in AEW. The dog collar match. That is. I had to be more specific. The dog collar match at Revolution, I should say. Yeah, I had to be a bit more specific. But next up for the AEW Women's Championship, and this is a little awkward too, considering Mariah May is now in WWE as well, or should I say Blake Monroe. But Mariah May defending against Io Sky. Now, this would be very interesting, and this would be very fun on both these two very fun competitors, and seeing Mariah May and her style going up against Io Sky, and seeing all like the crazy dives and stuff that Io Sky would get up to, I think would be very fun. It would make for a very fun encounter. And I know I'm saying that a lot, but that's why I love this booking, love this video so much, because there are a lot of fun encounters and a lot of fun matches that Turbo has put together for this video, and this is very much one of them. This would be a very fun match. Would it be a bloody battle like Mariah May's matches with Toni Storm? I don't think so, but it would be. It would be very, very good. And also, if WWE is going to allow the blood, WWE doesn't do blood that often nowadays. But so you kind of got to meet in the middle. For any match to have blood, you'd probably go for, or you would definitely go for an MJF Punk, and you'd probably also go for Roman versus Mox. And then this one for the WWE Championship that Cody Rhodes no longer has, as Cody Rhodes versus Hangman Adam Page. I admit I was shocked to learn that during his entire time in AEW, Cody Rhodes and Hangman Adam Page never faced off one-on-one. And that is pretty surprising, actually. I guess it makes some sense because Cody, he pretty much took himself out of the AEW Championship picture, or by 2019. Of course, he lost the match at Full Gear, the same match where afterwards MJF turned on him, and so wasn't really in the AEW World Championship picture. And Hangman had been pursuing the World Championship for that time, especially in 2021 when he came back, beat Kenny Omega, what have you. But I'm surprised they didn't have like a one-off or anything, and one-off for the TNT Championship when Cody Rhodes was TNT champion or anything. That's pretty surprising. And that being said, this would be a very cool match, and would be very much a first-time match, and I imagine you would definitely want to play up the history of Cody Rhodes in AEW, and this match especially that you build. Now, the other dream matches you also build up first time ever, but especially for this one, and with Cody and Hangman never facing off. But yeah, I think this would be a very, very fun encounter between the two. And then I believe this is the last match, aka the main event for this video. Oh, yep, the main event of night 2. The other dream match, this one, because he is WWE Champion, would be for the WWE Championship. John Cena versus Kenny Omega. The biggest star in WWE history versus the biggest star pretty much everywhere else except for WWE. Very much a huge contrast in styles between the two. You could do a lot of fun promos, you could do a lot of fun build between these two, play up like the history of Cena and him really making his mark in WWE, and then him then turning heel, abandoning the fans. Meanwhile, Kenny has been grinding for years in other promotions such as New Japan and now AEW, two of the biggest names in their respective companies. I think this very much could be a very fun build. The match itself would probably be a little bit tricky. Sadly, because Cena, and A, his style to begin with, and B, him kind of getting up there in age, this one, Kenny would do, I imagine, a bulk of like the legwork, and John kind of paying off him. But I think if anyone can really guide Cena to a really fantastic match, I think it very much is Kenny Omega. And this, I think, would be a very fun and interesting encounter. I think the build and the hype leading into it would far outweigh the match. But I think if you do it right, the match would still be pretty fun. Here's hoping. And I imagine that would be the case for a lot of these matches on this card. But yeah, that is the final match, and I think this would be a fantastic way to end off this Forbidden Door type event. But yeah, so that is going to do it for this video. Fantastic booking for with this, and I did already give a like and the sub and once again, cannot stress it enough, please go subscribe to Turbo Wrestling. And he did a fantastic dream match video here. Put together some fantastic matches. Some of the matches, some overlap from the ones I kind of put together as well in like my dream matches video and stuff like that, but still put together some really fun, really creative matches is here, and I definitely do love to see it. But in the meantime, that is going to do it for this reaction video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you never miss an upload, and let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this match and my reaction to it. Do you like, or not this match, this video, I should say, of the dream match is the Forbidden Door dream match card. Or did you like to like the video? Did you like to like my reaction to it? Let me know. And if you had to put together an AEW and WWE Forbidden Door match card, what matches would you put together? Let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.